Welcome back to the Ross Bolen podcast. I am your host, Ross Bolen, and I am officially an old man. I've been going to bed before 10 p.m. every night, okay? Like, not like, oh, it's a couple times. Every night for the last several weeks. It's been asleep by 9 or 9:30 multiple times this week, all right? Mostly because my body alarm clock goes off and I wake up every morning between 6:30 and 7 a.m. now with no alarm. Like, just my body goes, it's time, start the anxiety parade, and I get up and have to begin my day. So if I'm not asleep by 9 to 10 p.m., I'm miserable the next day. As such, I've been crashing very early, and I'm still tired. I don't understand. I don't understand how I'm still tired, but I am still. I'm exhausted. I had a lot going on for sure, but it's like, geez, man, I'm crashing. I fell asleep at 9 p.m. the other night, dude. 9 p.m. That's the earliest I've fallen. I can't even remember. When I was very ill, maybe at some point I went to bed at 9, like with COVID. But other than that, like, this was by choice. It was all al natural, organic, and I passed out at 9 p.m. and I'm still freaking tired. And because I noticed, obviously, falling asleep as early as I did a couple times, I was like, man, I must be exhausted. I'm going to start going to bed real early, you know. Surely in a few days' time, I'll have caught up on sleep. And I'll feel real energized and healthy and good. Yeah, that hadn't happened. And like, no amount of coffee or crack cocaine can fix this problem, I don't think. I think I'm just not a spring chicken anymore. And tired is my permanent state now. I knew the day would come. I've obviously been hearing about it for the better part of my life. That, like, you don't get to be a kid forever. You won't have all this energy forever, and enjoy it while it lasts. And, you know, youth is wasted on the young or whatever. And then now, at 35, I'm really experiencing that first drop-off. So it's like, yeah, it's real for sure. And I kind of felt like I'd make it to like 45 before I got to this shit. It bums me out. Like, I don't know, though. I just thought sleep would be a more effective fix than it's been so far to counter my sleepiness, you know? These fucking psychos like The Rock and Elon Musk who operate on like 6 hours of sleep a night, they're complete freaks of nature. Like, I can't identify with these type of cats on any level. Like, maybe those guys are just on different drugs than me, but I don't understand how you can be over 35 years old and live that way. I just don't get it. I don't have the energy for it. Kick rocks, Mark Wahlberg, you freak of nature. Suck a toad, Elon. Making us all look like bums by comparison. Speaking of which, I have some insane headlines of the day. And for our first headline, I have two variations of the story. I'm bringing you the two sides of media bias because that's the kind of podcast we are. What is it called? Nonpartisan podcast that we are. We're a nonpartisan podcast. All right? So I'm bringing you two sides to the story. Let's start with the left. From the New York Times, billionaire no more. Patagonia founder gives away the company. And I'm going to read you their slant here. A half century after founding the outdoor apparel maker Patagonia, Yvon Chouinard, that's almost certainly incorrect pronunciation, by the way, the eccentric rock climber who became a reluctant billionaire with his unconventional spin on capitalism, has given the company away. Rather than selling the company or taking it public, Mr. Chouinard, his wife and two children, adult children, have transferred their ownership of Patagonia, valued at about $3 billion, to a specially designed trust in a non-profit organization. They were created to preserve the company's independence and ensure that all of its profits, some $100 million a year, are used to combat climate change and protect undeveloped land around the globe. Oh, really cool, dude. Way to show us all up and suck up all the environmental glory. How are us normies supposed to compete with this? How? The story continues. The unusual move comes at a moment of growing scrutiny for billionaires and corporations whose rhetoric about making the world a better place is often overshadowed by their contributions to the very problems they claim to want to solve. At the same time, Mr. Schneider's relinquishment of the family fortune is in keeping with his long-standing disregard for business norms and his lifelong love for the environment. So, this is a very pro-Schneider angle to the story, obviously. Nonetheless, it is a wild, wild story. We'll get to more of my opinions on it shortly, but first, the other angle from Bloomberg. Patagonia billionaire who gave up company skirts $700 million tax hit. Oh, so there's more to the story here. So Patagonia founder Yvon Chime described his decision to give away the outdoor apparel maker as his last-ditch effort to do all he could to protect the planet. The deal is structured in ways that also bring the billionaire other perks by letting him and his family keep control of Patagonia while shielding them from tax bills that could have totaled hundreds of millions of dollars. By donating most of the company, which is valued at $3 billion, according to the New York Times, Shania is at the fore of a small but growing movement among the ultra-wealthy to use nonprofits to exert political influence long past their lifetimes. Okay, so just to give my, to be completely nonpartisan here, I have to throw myself under the bus. It is a little weird, but having kids is the first time I really truly considered like the environmental impact we are having to this planet and what it means for the future. Like, for two reasons. One, I don't particularly, I haven't historically cared all that much about my own life, right? Like, not to say that I don't, I've had issues with self-loathing in the past. And just historically, I think we all struggle for finding like a real meaning and purpose in our lives, right? It's one of the great human challenges. And when you have kids, like having a stepdaughter right now and having another child on the way, a lot of your perspective shifts. It gives you something to live for every single day, first of all. So it shifts a lot of your perspective on life. So there's that, but also mostly because the hotter it gets, the more miserable and sweaty and exhausted we all are. And I'm like, oh shit, global warming is real. Greta Thunberg is right. We have to do more. Like we have to do more. It occurs to me. We should really be doing more, like on a daily basis, each and every one of us, to try to save this planet that we've done a real number on. And then I use a full roll of paper towels to clean up some spilled milk. Like, I may drive a Tesla, but man, my carbon footprint, it still feels like it's probably pretty shitty. Right? It is what I love about this job and company, though. Bolen Media is green as shit. We have no paper, no meetings, no physical paychecks. We're all online, and that makes me feel better. But, dude, I use so many paper towels, man. Even here at the company, it's a problem. But at the company, we have access. Like, so I put these hand towels in the kitchen, and I use those to counter my paper towel use. But at home, my wife won't allow those. We're only allowed to have decorative towels hanging in the kitchen for some reason. So I can't fix my sitch, and as such, I'm just burning through paper towels, dude. I'm disrespectful with it. I'm being honest here. This is a safe place. And by freeing myself, I hope to maybe free even a small number of you. That we can be better together is what I want us to acknowledge. Okay? But yeah, so much toilet paper too. When I wipe my ass, I definitely use too much. I could for sure use the Kleenex more than one blow or wipe before I grab a new one. I'm a fucking monster now that I'm thinking about it. I'm an environmental criminal driving a Tesla to throw people off my scent. I think that's what's for the record, to counter all the things I'm admitting to now, my overuse of paper towels, my overuse of toilet paper, I will donate Bolen Media to climate change if it becomes worth $3 billion. I pledge that now. On the record. You are all witnesses. When Bolen Media becomes worth $3 billion, I'm going to manifest it. then I will donate it to climate change. Not a penny earlier, not a single cent before, not $2,999,999.99. No, $3 billion and $3 billion only. At that point, I will need the tax shelter. It's funny that there's always some ulterior motive. It's almost like if you're him, you have to be like, you know what? No, I need to pay some type of tax penalty. Otherwise, people are just going to say, I'm doing this for the taxes. You just can't do anything right, can you? This guy seems legit, though. That's my read. All right, just to give my personal read here on Yvon Chouinard. It's Chouinard, okay? Chouinard. Hard to say, isn't it? But my read is that he's a good guy, and he's doing the right thing, and him and his family are good people. And he just because it's also a fortunate situation for him tax-wise, all the better. All the more better. Maybe our government did one fucking thing right by incentivizing billionaires to give away their fortunes in the name of some tax haven. Maybe that's one of the good things we've done. It's also obviously one of the really... Look, the tax system is not good. I'm just going to tell you straight up. As a person that is now classified as a business... I can tell you I found some of the legal loopholes, and they are astounding. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's not illegal. These dudes who pay, like Trump paying like $700 in taxes, that's legal. I'm telling you, that's the situation I'm in. Like you become a business at some point. Like with an S corp, my taxes funnel through the company. Oh, it's all tied together, and you can do crazy fucking shit. Now, morally and legally, there are lines that people cross constantly. I have never crossed any of those, and my tax record will show that. If any IRS agent wants to demonstrate otherwise, they're more than welcome to try. But the point is, that shit is nuts. It is absolute. The tax code is fucking insane. And I've been listening to politicians talk about rewriting the tax code since I was like 15 probably. I'm not saying it hasn't happened since before then. I'm just saying that's when I started listening. And holy God, we've made no progress. What the fuck is happening? I just don't understand. I don't understand how I can, like that Jay-Z line, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Basically, I'm at the level of business that an independent rapper would be, right? I'm out on my own. I'm not on a major label. I've started my own company. LLC. I've got an LLC, right? I've got a couple of my homies. They roll with me. We create content, right? This is it's like a fucking record label. As far as tax purposes go. Anyway, $3 billion in value, and I will donate it to the environment. Let the record show that. Today's episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. Playing is obviously important. I play basketball alone in my driveway and pretend it's the fourth quarter of the NBA Finals and the clock is winding down. Play ensures you don't lose your mind. Fuel your play with Liquid IV for hydration that's two times faster than water alone because life is better when you're hydrated. Again, just one packet of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. I have a Concord grape poured into this very cup of water you'll hear me drink now. It's delicious, Liquid IV. You just put one packet in 16 ounces of water. It hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. It contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. Liquid IV has 10 refreshing flavors like the Concord grape I'm drinking now, but also lemon lime, pina colada, tropical punch. It's non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. I drink Liquid IV before and during pretty much every podcast I record, after workouts or runs, or just when I feel like I haven't had enough water that day and could use an extra hydration boost. Grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco or get 15% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ROSS at checkout. That's 15% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code ROSS at liquidiv.com. All right, your next headline. A luxury cruise ship will allow residents to permanently live at sea for $1 million. Permanently live at sea. Holy shit. This is my nightmare. This headline is my nightmare. I love a good boat ride. All right. If you have a yacht, I'll let you take me and my girls out on it. But like, I love a good lake, a good boat on a lake. But I've made my stance on cruise ships quite clear. They're disgusting, and I'm disgusted by them. Too much human shit and piss being stored on board. Too much murder taking place on cruise ships. I've seen the movie Titanic, and I know some of you love cruises, and I don't care. You're disgusting. They're not for me because I am not gross. But to the story. From Business Insider, Storylines is the name of the company. It's building the 18-deck MV Narrative, the startup's first luxury residential cruise ship, which will travel indefinitely around the world. So it's a startup, all right? Kind of a first-of-its-kind situation. The ship, and I'm pretty sure this is like the entire plot of WALL-E, the Pixar film. The ship and its 1,000 occupants won't begin this unique lifelong journey until 2025, but the vessel's 547 floating condominiums are already capturing the hearts and wallets of many interested buyers. Some floor plans are nearly sold out, Katie Drew Jensen, Storyline's vice president of marketing, told Insider in August. And of course she would say that, right? So who the fuck knows? I'm not sure she's an unbiased source, and I'm not sure Business Insider actually went in and checked this, so... The residences range from a $1 million, 237-square-foot studio home comparable to luxury New York City apartments to a palatial 1,970-foot square-foot, four-bedroom, two-floor home that'll run buyers $8 million. And the studio home's price doesn't even include the monthly living fees of about $2,600 a person in a dual occupancy unit, according to the company's brochure. Because the narrative is all-inclusive, this cost will also cover the homeowner's daily food and drinks at the ship's 20 restaurants and bars, onboard medical staff, pools, a marina with water toys, a bowling alley, and a 10,000-square-foot wellness facility, which Storyline says is the largest of its kind at sea, to name a few of the narrative's amenities. And throughout the vessel's journey around the world, residents will get to spend several days at an international destination like Istanbul, Turkey, Montenegro, and Italy. So, yeah. Look, here's the thing. In my experience, rich people like exclusive shit. All right? Like, really wealthy people do not go on cruises. That's why I don't go, because I'm faking it till I make it. But maybe this just speaks to the amount of wealth that trash humans have accumulated that they can sell this stupid-ass perma-cruise. Dude, now that I'm thinking about it, if I was in my twilight years, maybe this is for the olds. Is this for the olds? Because if I was old, I would 100p be in for this shit. If I'm like 89, you know what I mean? I'm on my last 5 years. I'll buy onto this cruise and go see some shit. But if you're talking about going now, bro, I would have a hard time convincing myself to do a week-long cruise. I'm serious about that. It's not just a bit. I've never been on a cruise. I have no desire to be on a cruise. The very idea, it makes me kind of sick to my stomach and lose my appetite. It makes me soft in my pants, too. It's just, it's gnarly. I don't want, no. Too many horror stories, dude. Too many horror stories about poo-poo and pee-pee and murder. Those things combined, that's not, my brain says no, sir. No, sir. Risk-reward way off. Absolutely not. But if I was old as shit, I'm already got poop in my pants most of the time anyway, most likely. Might as well. Could be the place for me. But, yeah, no, in all seriousness, cruises are terrible. So, next headline. And this is, just bear with me here, all right? I'm going to read you some stuff, and you're going to need to sit and listen. When wokeness you can stand, I suppose. When wokeness comes to Middle-earth, why some say diverse casting ruins the new Lord of the Rings series. All right, buckle up, buckaroo. From CNN, Brandon Morse has read J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings series, and watched extended editions of Peter Jackson's Ring trilogy so often that, quote, I can almost quote them all line for line, end quote. But Morse is dreading a new addition to the Middle-earth canon that he says perverts and corrupts Tolkien's mythical medieval universe because TV showrunners have committed this storytelling crime. They're trying to wokeify Amazon's new series, The Lord of the Rings of Power. Morse is deputy managing editor of Red State, a conservative news site. He says the Rings of Power producers have cast non-white actors in a story based on European culture, and who look wildly different from how Tolkien originally described them. He says it's an attempt to embed, quote, social justice politics into Tolkien's world. Morse says, if you focus on introducing modern political sentiments such as the leftist obsession with identity issues that only go skin deep, then you're no longer focusing on building a good story, says Morse, again, who wrote an impassioned essay about his misgivings. You're effectively making propaganda, or art meant to fit a message, not a message to fit the art, he says. To continue, the makers of The Lord of the Rings, which premiered Friday, this is a couple weeks old, obviously, promised viewers plenty of epic battles, yet some of the biggest battles surrounding the Amazon Studios series have erupted off-screen. Middle-earth fans and scholars like Morse have clashed in online forums and dueling op-eds over this question. Does casting non-white actors enhance the new series, or is it a betrayal of Tolkien's original vision? And because Lord of the Rings fans are notoriously opinionated about all things Middle-earth, the debate can get heated. Some fans are even questioning if Tolkien was a racist. That's a real thing. I can't fucking believe we're even having to talk about this, dude. It's pretend, dude. It's not fucking real. It's more insane than arguing about, like, whether Jesus was white because he was so obviously brown. But these are fucking Harfoots and elves and shit, son. They never existed, and not only that, nobody is arguing they ever existed. And if it's a question of not sullying Tolkien's original works, Jeffrey fucking Bezos is behind all this. There is no honor to be maintained here. It's made by our Amazon overlords to keep us glued to the screens we had delivered to us by Amazon, while they remind us Thursday Night Football is now on Amazon and pump more Amazons directly into our eye and ear holes. It's not fucking real. God, you racist nerds are a different breed of weirdo, man. They put black people in Middle-earth, Mom. They made the Valerian family black. This is a travesty. Shut up, dorks. Shut up. It's all pretend. It isn't real. Keep your racism based in reality. Insert Matthew McConaughey's speech from Wolf of Wall Street. It's fucking fairy dust. It's fictional. It doesn't exist. It's for fucking pretend. You're just saying way too unnecessary. You're just saying I'm a racist. That's all you're. If you have a take on the race of the hobbits and shit, then you're a racist. That's the only take. Look, there's not many cases where that should be okay for me to argue. If you say this, you're automatically a racist. But this is one of them. Why the fuck do you care what color the Harfoot is? It's a Harfoot. It's a Harfoot. Look at it. It's fucking pretend. Furry little small person, what the fuck? Do you care? I just can't imagine giving that much of a shit. I just can't imagine you're fucking, how does the flag not go off there for you? How does the light bulb not pop up and go, you know what, maybe I'm looking at this whole racism thing the wrong way? How are there this many racist dorks? I guess, like, you know what? Being a gamer should have taught me this lesson. There are so many racist nerds. It's just the internet. It turns you all racist. Everybody turns into a fucking racist online for some reason. It's crazy. I don't even know if it's just white people. It might not be just white people. I'm just quite certain the white people are at it again with this Lord of the Rings shit. It's fucking insane. I can't, every week I feel like I'm obligated to talk more about this. Because I find a story, the headline, I'm just like, oh my God, they're arguing that Tolkien may have been a racist now? That's the other side of the argument, like the fucking woke side? Stop using the word woke. Stop talking about race as it relates to fucking elves and Harfoots. Stop it. Do you know how many real issues we have to deal with on this planet? The real shit, dog. Real shit, son. This is pretend. This is coming from a guy who does a fucking podcast about House of the Dragon. It's not fucking real. Pull your goddamn head out of your ass. The hell is wrong with you people? Jesus, it's fun to discuss, but fuck? The race of the characters? It doesn't matter. Just like in real life. It doesn't matter what color somebody, it shouldn't. It certainly does, obviously, but it shouldn't. Fundamentally, from a logical standpoint, racism is an idiotic thing. It's fucking stupid. But to apply it to Lord of the fucking Rings, why, God? We've strayed so far from your light. Every day, we sprint further. We're not straying. We're sprinting in the opposite direction of the good Lord's light. Racist fucking Hobbit fans? Fuck. All right, let's move on. Today's episode is also brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the easiest way to play daily fantasy, but I get it. If you don't know what to expect, getting started on a new platform can be slightly stressful. Not so the case with PrizePicks. This is as easy as it gets when it comes to daily fantasy. Here's a super quick step-by-step guide to registering on PrizePicks and placing your first entry so you can just focus on having fun and winning big this weekend. You register for an account on PrizePicks.com, you make a deposit, and you pick more or less, okay, on 2 to 5 player stats to win payouts of up to 10x. So you pick 2 to 5 different players with their stats attached, and if they score more or less than their PrizePicks projections with the particular stat that you picked, you can win up to 10x your money on any entry. You're not competing against other people. It's not dependent on anyone else agreeing to play with you. It's just you versus the projections available, and it's daily fantasy. You can do it for whatever sport you want, not just football, not just on Sundays, not just on Thursdays, not just on Mondays. PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you watch, including NFL, obviously, but also MLB, NBA, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college basketball, women's college basketball, soccer, WNBA, esports, NASCAR, tennis, MMA, boxing, disc golf. I said disc golf, yes, Euro basketball, cricket, and more. It's actually unbelievable how many different things they have. This is my first year doing daily fantasy, okay? I finally caved because I'm sick of my fantasy football teams tanking and making me sad, and it was PrizePicks and their super easy to use platform and cool spin on daily fantasy that sucked me in. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy, safe, and fast withdrawals, currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to PrizePicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 when they use promo code RBP to support the podcast and let them know we sent you. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50 when you use that promo code RBP. Don't forget to enter promo code RBP when you sign up for that instant deposit match up to $100 on PrizePicks.com or when you download the PrizePicks app today. So kind of what to me is a very funny story I'm going to tell. All right. It's funny. It'll lighten things up after what got a little dark there. Well, this will get a little dark too, just in a comedic way. So yesterday I was behind one of the more it's the most cold-blooded bumper sticker I've ever seen. But I couldn't get a photo in time. But I swear on my mother, on my unborn child, I saw this bumper sticker, and it read, "Save the trees. We need them to finish off Greg Abbott." And Greg Abbott was famously assaulted by a tree when jogging or some shit, hence the wheelchair. Google the story. It's insane. It's like Mother Nature made a failed assassination attempt. This should be a tweet, though. Not a bumper sticker, man. Like, what? Save the trees. We need them to finish off Greg Abbott. You're just asking for trouble, is all I'm saying. There are a lot of Republican cops, all right? A lot of Republicans in Texas, period. And we need peace, damn it. Not more division. I would be lying my ass off, though, if I said I didn't laugh my ass off and tried desperately to take a picture while driving. It just what a ridiculous move. It takes a very special kind of person in 2022 to go this far with a bumper sticker. Like, the vanity license plates are one thing, but having a bumper sticker that makes a major political statement in 2022, it really just identifies you as part of the problem, in my opinion. Again, you're just like putting up the red flag. It's almost like saying you care about what race the Harfoots are. And I just like, look, they're not sports teams, man. They're not Get a fucking Lord of the Rings bumper sticker like a normal dork before you start repping political parties via bumper sticker. Please, God. If you get the normal, like, I voted for this person or that person, even that at this point to me, it's kind of like, why? Seriously, why? What is that saying? Do you think people are driving behind you going, you know what? Now that I've seen this Biden sticker, that is a nice van. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. That's not how anything works. Just get a Twitter account and blast your political opinions into the fucking shit internet sphere with the rest of us. This isn't how anything fucking... No one reads a bumper sticker and goes, fuck, I'm going to change my life. It's a fucking bumper sticker, dude. We don't need to be getting political on bumper stickers anymore. We have forfeited that right. We can't get along enough. We can't get along. People get too upset. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Take that shit off your fucking car, stick it in your garage on the inside. I drove past one of my neighbors the other day, giant Trump flag on the inside of their garage. And I thought to myself, thank you. Thank you for not flying it in your front yard. Don't fly a Biden flag. Don't fly a Trump flag. That shit's fucking weird, bro. They're not sports teams. If you want to put up a flag, put up an American flag, your state flag. For fuck's sake, don't put up the Confederate flag. There are plenty of good flag options. Put up a pirate flag. Put up a Bob Marley flag. Put up a fucking anything. Just put it inside the garage if it's political. All right? I don't know about this bumper sticker, bro. Just one time to make sure everybody heard it in the back. The bumper sticker read, and again, these are not my words. It's not my joke. I'm reporting the news here. The bumper sticker said, "Save the trees. We need them to finish off Greg Abbott." You get it? Speaking of Lord of the Rings and trees, weren't the Ents, wasn't that what they were called? The living giant walking trees in Lord of the Rings? The Ents? The tree folk. He spoke real slow. I can't do a good Ent, I don't think. And I'm not even sure, I don't maybe cultural appropriation, species appropriation in this case to do the impersonation of one of the Ents. But it is funny to picture them rising up against Greg Abbott. Look, that's the last thing I'll say about it. See, I didn't get political. Today's episode is also brought to you by Chime. What goes great with a summer vibe? How about a checking account with no monthly fees? Like a cool breeze, Chime is a refreshing way to handle your money with no monthly fees, no maintenance fees, or minimum balance fees. It's how banking should be. And when you need to access your money, you can do so free. Free at more than 60,000 in-network ATMs at many locations like most Walgreens, 7-Eleven, and CVS. You can also send money to anyone, even if they aren't on Chime. Free for you, fee-free for you. No cash-out fees for them. Chime, no monthly fees, no vibe-killing fees. Sign up for a Chime checking account. Only takes 2 minutes, doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/RBP. That's CHIME, chime.com/RBP. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank. Members FDIC out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees apply, except at MoneyPass ATM and 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Other fees such as third-party and cash-out deposit fees may apply. All right. I need to get more of you over on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast supporting the show. So I am giving you a preview from actually the most recent Patreon episode with Jared and I to seduce you into supporting our show in exchange for an additional episode of RBP Weekly with no ads, ad-free episode each week. It's premium goods, okay, on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast. And again, when you join, you gain access to our whole backlog. So if you've never been on Patreon, there are so many episodes, many tens and maybe even hundreds of hours of RBP you have not heard that are obviously behind our paywall, our subscription platform, patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast, where in exchange for just a minimum pledge of $5 monthly, you can support the show and show that you want our show to continue to exist and be a show and thrive and get bigger and better, and so that we can grow Bolen Media and continue to take this thing to the moon, right? So patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast is the place you can do that. And to just let you know the type of things that go on there, here's a little tiddly bit from today's, or our most recent Patreon episode for to see if we can sway you to join us. Here you go. I feel like health consciousness has continued to like become a focus of society, whereas like in the fucking 90s, bro, it was just chaos.
Yeah,
It was insane out there.
Did anybody work out before the year 2003?
No, and nobody knew what a smoothie was, and nobody had ever fucking been told fast food was bad for them. It was chaos on the streets, and you could advertise everything. There were cigarette commercials and shit. It was fucking crazy. And then PC culture, man. Everybody had to get all woke, man.
This is fucked up. I want to see Marlboro commercials. I want to shake hands with Joe Camel.
Let the kids make tough decisions on their own. Hey, how about parenting? Hey, how about try parenting your kid to not smoke cigs so that we can all enjoy these Marlboro Man commercials together and Camel Joe. Those were phenomenal pieces of American culture, and now they're gone because you wanted to wake up.
Question. What was Marlboro Man's like catchphrase? Did he have one?
I'm picturing him if you got him. I really don't know. Dude, it's just what a fucking insane, like, all right, seriously, ever since I was old enough to smoke cigarettes, so probably 15 years old, is when I had my first cigarette. I really think it was. Somewhere around there yonder. I remember thinking to myself, wait a minute, but if it kills you, why is it legal?
Cars kill you.
Yeah, but we put restrictions on all kinds of shit. I mean, to take it back to the weed thing, as I like to do, it's crazy that weed's not legal, but cigarettes, that it says on the box, this will fucking kill you. It will give you cancer in huge letters, which have only gotten bigger since I was a child. Now it's like half the goddamn front of the box says like, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. This is a bad, you know this is bad for you. This is a little suicidal of you. It tells you, and we still buy them by the carton. People are still smoking cigs, drunk cigs in particular.
I mean, yeah, it's about what the government can make money off of. That's like that. Which you think weed would be one of those things, but apparently they don't feel like
it is enough. Making a fucking killing down here in Texas, but instead it's illegal. And it's just the point is, it occurred to me as a child, man, it's crazy to me that we sell cigarettes. Like that this is a legal product that a company is allowed to profit off of.
But you were excited about that fact, and
I was ripping heaters.
Proceeded to smoke.
I was ripping heaters for years and drunk heaters for years after the fact. I smoked sober cigs in college, man. I walked the quad ripping Parliament lights. I didn't give a fuck. I was Biggie ready to die, son.
Yeah, I don't know many sober cig smokers. I know plenty of drunk cig smokers. I'm one of them.
Because being a sober cig smoker in 2022 is a sign of something being seriously fucking wrong with you.
Now, I know a lot of sober vapors. Quite a bit of sober
If you're
vapors.
listening right now and you're like, man, fuck you, Ross. I smoke cigs sober. Man, fuck you. You're crazy as hell. Smoking cigs sober? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I'll be honest. Nobody has yet put a good argument to me that says that vaping is less dangerous than cig smoking.
I doubt it is less dangerous. I doubt it is. There's just something, there's no corners to cut when it comes to this drug shit, bro.
You're getting high through your lungs.
I'm telling you, son, there's no corner cutting. There aren't any corner. I know we're trying to find something. I know. Listen, I'm a nicotine crackhead with the rest of you motherfuckers. I'm sucking down Zens like they're fucking gum at this point. But the point is, like, I'm very much still addicted to nicotine, bro. I get it. But the cig thing, what in the fuck? It just, I don't get, I seriously, when I look back at my life, there's only a few decisions where I'm like, what the hell, man? Why? And that's one of them. Cigs. Sober cigs.
I also
You're
think
out of
that
your fucking skull. When I see somebody in traffic, dude, when I look over to my right and there's just somebody pulling on a heater, I'm like, what happened? I want to roll down the window and be like, I'm sorry for whatever happened to you. But put down that heater.
They also, like, I hate smokers who litter, which is like a big percent of them. They just throw it.
A cigarette butt in the fucking yard the other day. What the psychopathic shit? What the fuck? It's 2022, man.
Somebody just flicked it in your front yard.
Listen to a podcast one time and get woken up because you can't be flicking cigs in yards. Who's smoking heaters sober? Y'all, if you're a sober cigarette smoker, we want to hear from you on the hotline, 888-WR-BOLEN. We'll play those calls on Patreon soon. I want to hear from you. What is it? Just be honest. And you can be honest, because I was one of you once, smoking cigs in the quad, and it was that I was Biggie ready to die. And I want to know what your fucking deal is, man. What's wrong with you? Why do you refuse to... The label. It was the thing that made me quit doing dip. The thing that made me finally go, I can't fucking do it. Because half the fucking can was a giant sticker that says this is going to cause you to have serious goddamn dental issues or jaw cancer. And
in other countries,
I am out.
In other countries, they have pictures of what it might do to you on them.
Europeans that smoke cigs, y'all are out of your skull. If you're a sober cigarette smoker in Europe and you're listening, call into the hotline. We want to hear from you.
I think most people in Europe smoke sober cigs.
Still? Even with those photos on the boxes, is such a buzzkill, dude. Actually, that's true. When I was a kid, I got arrested, and when I got arrested, I had one loose cigarette on me, and the dickhead cop gave me a minor in possession of tobacco to go with a slew of other
I wonder if the Europeans treat those as like a reward thing. Like, hey, buy 10 cartons, and this could be you.
Gross. But I had to take classes, like tobacco awareness course, and they showed us lots of pictures and videos of like what it did to you, and I didn't give a fuck. I left and ripped cigs.
Nice.
I was such a bad boy, dude.
You were. Still are.
I was just angry, man. No, not so much anymore. I don't have much edge to me anymore.
But you do still edge, right?
Yeah, but I don't have much edge to me, like my personality. I'd say the fact that I edge is probably one of the most edgy things about me. I just don't. There's not that much edge to me anymore. It's all right, though. That's why I play basketball shirtless in the driveway, you know, because you got to keep some type of appearances up. Don't fuck with me. I'll hoop on you. So let us know if you think binge drinking is going out of style, too. On Twitter, Instagram, at Jared Borislow, at WR Bolen. We want to hear from you. Another thing that came up at lunch, it's time for a new segment, Things Jared Will Not Eat. What made me write that down?
Well, I was saying, I'm a very adventurous eater. I eat many different cuisines, many different random things that people find gross. The big thing that sparked this was we talked about one of my top 10 favorite foods, escargot.
I would go so far as to call you an eccentric eater.
Yeah.
Because of this very fact, this escargot thing with you and the fact that you've had it for like a bunch of birthdays and shit like when you were a kid.
I've had escargot more than 30 times in my life.
I said, as we said at lunch, I think I've had it one time. And it was at like a rich people wedding or something.
Love escargot. So good. It's a texture play. Remember, you don't really taste the snail. It's got this great, like completely unique rubberiness, but in a good way that no other thing I've ever eaten replicates. But it just tastes like garlic butter, and then you just dip your bread also in the garlic butter.
I mean, there are a lot of weird things about you, bro. But this is top 3 for sure.
No, people love escargot. It's very popular. Right?
Yes, for the wealthy to snack on at fucking special occasions, Jared. Not like regular fucking people get it on their birthday or talk about it extensively on their podcast, like you do.
I love escargot. But we talked about but there are some very common foods that I do not eat.
Which came up.
Yeah, number 1, yellow squash. Tastes like farts.
All right, and I think that's fair. Like everybody has some weird foods that they don't like, right?
I like butternut squash. I like
do too.
Other
big fan of butternut squash.
Spaghetti squash is fine.
Sure.
Yellow squash tastes like farts.
Okay, what's number 2?
Zucchini tastes like yellow squash.
So more farts.
Yeah. And then you get to, here's some interesting ones, okay? Another common one I don't like, generally, is beets. However, there are preparations of beet I can enjoy. I recently went to Suerte, the best restaurant in Austin. If you come to Austin and only can get one meal, go to Suerte on the east side. They had this beet...
go to sushi bar.
This beet huarache.
Yeah.
Incredible. I was like, I would order this.
What did it entail? What did they do to this beet that made it so
with a salsa
spectacular?
matcha caramel. I believe some goat cheese was on there, some greens.
Oh, God.
It was phenomenal. I would order it again.
Daddy
by
hungry.
itself.
Jared.
I've had a beet tostada at Nixta, another great restaurant in town that I like. I've had smoked beets with goat cheese that were decent, but generally, like beets, unless they are at a nice restaurant, I'm going to say no to those. They taste like dirt. And then
I tend to agree with you on all of these sentiments so far. These are questionable vegetables. That's the category I put them in.
Then I'd say the weird one that's I can totally understand why people like offal, OFFAL, which is just organ meat. But I do not like organ meat. The liver is the most common organ meat. Pâtés, liver mousses.
So these are more things Jared does not eat.
I cannot get past, regardless of how much wine and like spices they put into these French liver pâtés. I can't get past the irony aftertaste. It literally tastes like you're sucking on a penny.
Oh, fuck.
I can't do it.
That's what butthole tastes like, I've been told.
No, it's like a 9-volt battery, they say, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways, yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, outside of,
But Jared does not eat those things, to be clear.
I'm not. Those are not ones that like disgust me, where I'll be like, I'm turning it away. I'll try it. However, if you're like, hey, Jared, taste this ratatouille, which is like yellow squash, zucchini, I'm like, I'll have a bite, but like, I'm not gonna like this.
I used to be out on Thai food, but then
what a bad take.
I had it, and I was like, oh, this is good. And I'm in on Thai food.
There's nothing bad about Thai food. I love Thai food.
I'm trying to think of like a food I'm out on. I don't know, man. I like pretty much everything. I'm a pretty
escargot.
I'm not out on escargot. I'm just not as in on it as you are because it's psychotic.
Do you like eggplant? Nightshades are very
Don't mind it. Don't mind it. My wife is like got a nutrition degree, so she's like a psycho with food, and we all have to eat healthy food until she got pregnant, which has been a fucking jackpot for me. I just get to eat trash like all the time. It's glorious, but it's also become dangerous, and I'm having to back off of that, as I said on a mental health minisode recently here on Patreon for the enforcers and OGs. But the point is, she's introduced me to a bunch of foods that I'd never had before, and the eggplant, in the ways she prepares this eggplant situation, man, it's fucking delicious. It's incredible.
Is it true that you once tried to plant an eggplant by planting an egg?
You thought you were going to say I have sex with an eggplant now?
What? No.
After that apple pie from earlier?
No, you plant an egg in the ground and it becomes an eggplant. Is that true that you've tried that?
No, Jared. That's a nefarious lie.
Well, do you know what is true?
Is nefarious appropriate there?
Yeah, it is. Do you know what is true, Ross?
What?
It's the Bone Zone!
Jesus. All right, to gain access to our entire backlog of ad-free episodes, our ad-free premium episodes, go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast and pledge a minimum of just $5 monthly to help our show and company grow. The full episode Jared and I just recorded alone is worth $5, all right? I promise you that. But getting access to that entire backlog makes it more than worth it. So head to patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast today. Also go to bolenmedia.com/shop for merch. We've got some great RBP t-shirts. We got hats. We got Formula Bone stuff in there. Obviously, listen to the latest episode of the Formula Bone F1 show. Just watch it on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Formula Bone F1 show, and you'll see Jared's happy little face there. You can click on it and support Jared and his F1 podcast and show on YouTube, Formula Bone F1 show. Again, also available wherever you listen to RBP. But also got great Formula Bone merch on the bolenmedia.com/shop site, as well as oysters, clams, and cockles stuff. And we're going to come with more new stuff soon, I promise you that. So head to bolenmedia.com/shop for merch. By the way, shout out to my wife. We're halfway home as far as pregnancy goes, and she's been an amazing trooper and still slanging Bolen Media ad reads for us, and she's the one who got the merch site up for us, and she's done so much for us and our company. We really appreciate her very much, and I just wanted to say thank you to her again. She's the best. Also, follow us on social media. We are on TikTok at The Ross Bolen Podcast, on Instagram at The Ross Bolen Podcast, on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter and Instagram at WR Bolen. Follow Jared at Jared Borislow on Instagram and Twitter. Those are his personal Twitter and Instagram handles, and Formula Bone on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as well. At Bolen Media is everywhere, bolenmedia.com to check out the whole company. I'll be back soon. Until next time, peace be with you and also with you.